Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of your Sunday Tonic Conversation with the Love Crusader. Yep, you can see we're both in the house today. We're coming to you from one studio, and it's Q&A Sunday, so we'll be answering one or two questions today that have come from our viewers on the topic we've had this month, which is love and new beginnings. Before we go into it, if you're just seeing this platform for the first time, it is Conversation with the Love Crusader, and it is a platform where we have conversations about love, life, and relationships in a fun way. You will do well to subscribe, to our channel. It's at Men Fences TV on YouTube. It's at Men Fences on Facebook and on my personal profile on LinkedIn. All right. Our usual familiar face that needs no introduction is here, but I'll still introduce Asha. All protocols duly observed. Mama Titi is here. She's my co-host on this show, and we will try, by the grace of God, to trash the questions that have come in. Like I always say, we treat the questions on a first come first serve basis. So if you have a question on a topic for the month, you will do well to send your question in early enough so your question can be treated. And we always treat the questions anonymously, so you don't have any fear of, oh, if I send this question, they will know it's me. It's just between me and you. Just between me and you. So send in your questions, and would try to give as much answer as we can. And if we cannot, we'll go and research and come back and go and find experts that will also come and help us to answer the questions. Okay, so today we have two questions we are going to deal with. The first one is do you want to read out the first question?
No,
let me try
ahead.
to look for
let me try to
look. I want to read it out as it came. So just give me a moment. We're going there. We'll read the question.
What we have today.
Yes, so I didn't allow you to say hello to the people. Can you say hello?
Hi people, how you doing? How you doing? How was your week? I hope you are getting ready for the week ahead.
Yep.
You are refreshed and ready. Let's listen to our question. We're ready.
All right. So question one for today says, I am a divorcee whose ex-husband has remarried someone else. I am also currently in love with a new man. But my church says no to remarriage after divorce. Please help. What can I do? Before we jump into the question, let me just apologize on behalf of our other hosts. Dr. Sebo is not too strong. He's strong in Jesus' name. You know what we mean. He's not physically fit to be here today. We will miss him, but don't worry, he's here with us in the spirit. And we want to say, get well, get strong. We miss you. Be well, okay? See you soon. All right. What can we do about this situation? She needs help. Titi, help her.
This is just, it's like this is a web, because the scenario or situation is becoming kind of complex, because there's an ex, there's her, there's an ex, there's soon to be someone she's in love with, so it's just like a web, but I believe that if you're asking this kind of question, maybe she's a bit confused
Mm-hmm.
as to, or she knows what to do already and she's just looking for some kind of support,
Okay.
So the simplest answer, I don't know if that's the best answer, but the simplest answer would be, okay, if you feel that this is what you should do, and the church, your church is saying we don't believe in this, seems like a doctrine issue,
Mm-hmm.
And for you to be in that church, you have to abide by the doctrine, the rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not willing to do that, then you might have to exit the church. You might have to exit that church.
Auntie,
Except
say-
you believe.
they say that
Mama, let me explain.
cutting your head is not the solution to headache.
You're not cutting your head in this case would be you living your faith.
Uh-huh.
That's not what you're doing.
Okay.
You're not living your faith.
Okay.
So that's why I began my intro, the explanation of my answer, by saying that it is more of a doctrine issue. And if you're going to be in a church, you have to follow the rules and regulation of that. It's not just a church alone, an organization, a body, or wherever it is you find yourself attached to.
Yeah.
You have to abide by their rules and regulation. And if you cannot abide by those rules and regulation, you might have to find a way to exit. The second option is...
There's a second option. Listen.
Yes, the second option is for you to forfeit the relationship. So the question is, what do you believe in your heart? Forget about what the church is saying, what do you believe? Because I know that there's something in your mind that tells you, okay, this is the right thing I need to do. It's just that there's a conflict, So what do you believe in your heart to do, and follow that? Now, that is the ideal answer, But if you were to ask me, because it's a doctrine issue, I would say that sometimes we take Bible passages out of context, and that is one of the major challenges, So, and this divorce is one of those Bible passages where they talk about God hating divorce and all of that.
Yeah.
And that's true. God hates divorce. God would always hate divorce because that is not the original plan. Till tomorrow, God will still hate divorce because that's not the original plan. But in this plan, there's an entity called human being. And once there's a human being in the mix, you can expect some kind of distortion to the plan. Again, that does not change the fact that that is not the original plan. But sometimes distortion happens. Supposed people end up marrying people that they have no business marrying.
Okay.
Sometimes people end up with the wrong people you are supposed to say hi to and just move on. You see people attaching themselves and binding themselves to these people for the rest of their life, which should not be so. Wow. So just like the Bible says, originally it was not so. And if someone says they are going to marry you and you get married and they wake up tomorrow and say they don't want again, you can't force someone to remain with you. And in this situation, it is even clear. The guy says he's not doing it again. He has even left. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So again, God hates divorce. That is not the plan he has for his children. But divorce happens. People walk away. That's just the truth. Again, that is not God's original plan, but these things happen. That does not, just like people would always say, that does not mean that God hates the divorcee. So God hates divorce. Divorce is not the solution to the problem of that relation or that marriage, of those most marriages, but still, it still happens. people walk away, and when they walk away, you cannot hold someone else to ransom for another person's decision. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So he says he's no longer interested. He has even gone ahead to show you that he's no longer interested by marrying another person. You cannot be bound to that person anymore, because in his mind, or not in his mind, physically, from what we see, he has freed you already. He has freed you already. So what are we talking about?
Okay. Before I try to give my comment or my would I say my take on this question, I just want us to go back again and talk about why this is wrong in the first place. For me, I think it's wrong. And
What is
some
wrong?
people will not like me. Some people will not like me after today, because they'll say, oh, she's a pastor, or she's a Christian, and why would she come and support, especially people who are members of this person's church, or people who believe the kind of things she believes. I mean, it's wrong for the church to say she shouldn't remarry. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
As far as I'm concerned. But before we come back to it, and I give my reasons why I believe it's wrong, I just want us to talk about the fact that this is what ties some people in a loveless marriage, in this kind of dogma and belief is the reason why people are bound, in the chain of religion. Because I don't want to say Christianity. For me, Christianity is a beautiful lifestyle, and people think Christianity is religiosity. It's not. Christianity is not a religion. All of the go to church, wear your ring. Okay, now I'm talking about where we're coming from. Oh, don't wear makeup. Oh, dress like this. Talk in a certain way. Quote the Bible every time you speak. And all those are not the Christianity. Those are the religiosity around Christianity. Fast 51 days, 50 days, 100 days. You can't kill the devil. Jesus couldn't do it. He was there in person. He didn't kill the devil. So, but you can go through those rituals and still not be a Christian. What am I even preaching? Let me come back. I'm trying to say, is it right that as a church, we should put some of this burden on our people? Because there are some people, and I'm telling the truth, like you said, who have no business being together. They are not happy. This person is not making them happy. And maybe they've even made effort. They've tried to work at it. They've tried to fix it. They've tried, it takes two to tango. Right? Maybe one person has been working and pushing and it's not working. But auntie is looking at, okay, if I leave this marriage, how would the church view me?
What will people say?
Hey, what would they say about me? Does living a marriage means living your faith? Does living a marriage makes you not a good woman or a good man? Like you said, life happens. I mean, I'm just, let's say I'm soliloquizing. First, before we go to answering this question.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier on, that because you were saying don't, I can't remember that analogy you gave. Don't
cut the head off because you have a headache.
Yeah. You're not cutting the head off, really. So you're saying, does that mean you're not living your faith? That's why I said it is a doctrine issue.
So divorces will make heaven, you think?
Why not? Why not?
Some people don't think so.
Why not? Why not? It's a doctrine issue. It's what her church believes. And I understand her situation, because probably you've been part of this church like forever. You probably grew up in this church, or you grew up spiritually in this church. So you have some form of fondness, attachment to the church, So I understand that position of maybe confusion or what do I do? Again, this person knows what to do already, because now you are thinking of marrying. You found someone else to marry again. That didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
You've been dating this person.
Yes.
You've been seeing each other.
Yes.
So you've been nursing it in your mind and thinking, I don't think this thing that my church is saying, I don't think is the right thing,
Yeah.
You've been nursing it. So now it's time for you to act, and you feel a bit, so I think it's a case of doctrine and emotions. So you're not living your faith. And for me, I just that's the way I see it.
But
You don't know, you can't do beyond what you know.
we are Christians.
Mhm.
I know that you might not be a theologian, okay? So, and I'm not trying to set you up, but
Okay.
it is in the Bible.
Okay.
And this will be the argument.
All
I
right.
know, without knowing her church, the name of her church,
Okay.
and the members and the pastor and the bishop and whoever of her church, this will be the argument that Jesus himself speaking said, whoever divorces his wife and marries another, except for adultery. And in this case, now this woman didn't really tell us what led to their divorce.
Mhm.
But except for the case of this woman committing adultery, if you will leave her and marry another, then you are committing adultery yourself. And whoever marries that woman that you have divorced, that person too is committing adultery.
Adultery. Mhm.
So if the church is trying to prevent this woman now from committing adultery, and her
And the
will
person that
will
wants to marry her
help
from committing adultery.
helping them
Mhm.
from committing adultery.
Mhm.
So don't you think they have let's say a good
spiritual
biblical ground
Mhm.
for this doctrine, really?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier on, that sometimes we take these things out of context.
Okay.
You know, that's why, because I know that this passage that where they were talking about what Jesus said, Jesus was referring to the original part in the Old
Plan
Testament.
of the Bible,
yes.
God.
So that's why I didn't even deal with this one. I just went straight to the one that most people generally capitalize on and say this is it. That's why I said yes.
Mhm.
I that's what Jesus was saying there, that and even in another place he says is that is not the original plan. You know, the ideal thing, the origin, not, I won't say ideal, because if I say ideal, it will seem as if it's unattainable.
Yeah.
I would say that the original plan was for you to meet the bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh, get married, and be happy together till death do you part. That is the original, but that will never change.
Yep.
It will never change. And that's what the Bible says, and that's what we should believe as Christians, right? But then again, that is what I'm saying, that this entity in the midst called human being, then again, you meet someone, you see people getting married to the bone of another person's bone, to the flesh of another person's flesh. Let me not even go into the reasons why that would happen. People make poor choices. Sometimes, for some reason, we listen to our flesh, we don't listen to the spirit while we're making decisions like this. And sometimes people end up with the wrong people. Sometimes you end up with the right person. The person decides to begin to make poor choices. You don't have control over.
I like that. Right person, poor choices. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the reasons. Right person, wrong person, right from the beginning. You're not supposed to be with this person in the first place. You find yourself with the person. Right person, poor choices. Both has to do with our free will that even God himself does not tamper with.
Yes, God doesn't interfere.
God doesn't interfere with that. So if you find yourself with the right person, and the person decides to continue to begin to make poor choices and continues to make those poor choices, you do not have control over that. As long as you are with this person, you are bound to this person, and you are bound by the covenant that binds you together. If the person says he or she is no longer interested in the marriage relationship, and people don't just say they are not interested by their words alone, people say they are not interested, they don't want anymore, by their actions. So you need to start taking people by their actions, and these things take time. So if they say they are no longer interested by their actions, they have broken that covenant, and you are no longer bound by that covenant.
I think now you've hit it on the nail.
You
hit the nail on the head for me, and this is my response. I love it. Before I go to my response, if you're there, please share this link. You could just be saving someone. I always say it. What we're sharing here can just be helping that your brother, that your sister. It can be making their life and their marriage and their relationship easier. So kindly share this video. So I set it up for a theological response. And I love that, she hit the nail on the head at the end of it. Hello, brothers and sisters in the Lord. The man who has left his family and gone to marry another has broken the covenant and agreement that exists between him and the original wife. She is no longer bound to him. At this point, this man will be treated as an unbeliever. The same thing for a woman. The woman who has left her husband and has gone to marry another, whether via divorce, whether separation, or she just carry her bag
as a
and then
matter
to
of
go and
fact,
marry someone else.
As a matter of fact, that's what Jesus was talking about when he was saying that except
adultery, because that's the breaking of the covenant.
Yes, because adultery is one of the highest description of breaking of covenant.
Exactly.
It's like once you step into adultery, you know how they say if you break the hedge, the serpent will bite you. Once you step into adultery, you've broken that hedge, you've broken that covenant. So that's what Jesus was trying to explain there, that once you break that covenant, if you don't break that covenant, you are still bound to this person. Once that covenant is broken, person say no, they do again.
Exactly.
Say, I don't want again, be going.
Exactly. And I'm saying this also from the scriptures. I mean, in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 10 to 14, Apostle Paul speaking said, if an unbeliever leaves a believer, that believer is no longer bound to the unbeliever. We assume that in this situation, since this uncle has gone to marry someone else, now, after divorcing this one, the agreement, the covenant between him and this woman is broken. There's no covenant anymore. There's nothing that is tying her to him anymore. So you cannot say now she's going to be living in adultery if she marries.
And covenant is very powerful. Covenants are not supposed to be broken anyhow.
Exactly.
But people break covenants.
Yep.
That's the reality.
In case you did not understand it before, let's break it down for you to understand that the reason why Jesus himself, as our Lord and Savior, said, except for adultery, is because he understands that the fact that that man goes to sleep with someone else, or that woman has gone to sleep with someone else, that covenant, their marriage covenant, is broken. And this is not about whether the covenant was made with a white wedding, like you stood in front of the altar and said till death do us part, or you people drank palm wine on your traditional wedding day, or you went to court and did the marriage. The fact is that at the beginning you have said, I love you, I'm going to be with you, I'll give you my life, and I'm married to you. That's a covenant. That's an agreement between I and you. And then what I like most about the one of the church is, and I think the court also do the same, they mention forsaking all others. You agree, you're going to forsake all others. I will stay wholly to you as my woman and my man. And then you leave this person, and then you go to sleep with someone else. You have
forsaking all others.
Exactly. You have instantly broken the agreement that is between you and this person. And as such, none of you is tied to each other, except if this person says, I'm able to forgive you, move past this adultery, and we can continue.
And it's continue a choice to honor the. Let me not
the
say
vows.
Laws.
They now
honor the vows,
they renew the covenant again. By both of them agreeing.
The tenets of the covenant.
Exactly. To say we continue in this covenant. Yes, you've made a mistake. Yes, you've gone out of it. You've stepped out of it. But I forgive you, and we can continue. To make this thing work again and to make it better again. Now, but if that is not the case, if the person says, "Oh, I can't take it," you have broken this covenant, and the covenant is broken, then the other person is not bound. So that is even just adultery. Now we're talking about someone who has left, they are divorced, the person has gone to remarry. Auntie, if you love this one and you have checked that this one will be better for you, because another challenge with this starting afresh, if you've missed our previous episodes, please go back and watch them. For this month of January, we've been talking about love and new beginnings. We talked about what you need to do before you start all over again. It's not enough now that, oh, you're in love with this person, you have butterflies in your stomach, oh, he seems like the
Of
right
course,
guy.
by now you should know that
You need to
butterfly.
reevaluate. You need to reevaluate this second package. You've been given a second option and a second attempt, and I would say it's luck for you. Let's say a blessing in disguise that you even have a second attempt to do it better. But now you owe it to yourself to ensure that this one now is going to be the right one. But we really don't know people. Like Titi said, you could marry the right person and they start making poor choices in the end. But prayerfully go into it, ensure you know this person that you're starting afresh with, so that there will be no tears in the long run, and then you are divorced again, and you are starting again, and you are going through it again. For me, I think that's what I have to say about it. And if your church is not agreeing with you, like Titi said, option one, auntie, sweetheart, change church. You can call me, I'll give you the address of my church. Change church, my darling. Because we would rather, for me, I would rather see you remarried than see you living a promiscuous life or living a life of sin, because you cannot, you cannot hold yourself, you cannot keep yourself. I mean, the Bible says for so that there's no sin, all men should have their wife. Abi?
Yeah.
So if you know that me, I cannot stay. Some women stay. Especially women. Some men used to stay, but very few. Very few. Let me not drag out the leg of the men, But most cases is women, you see, after marriage and remarriage, most times they don't want to remarry again. Maybe widowhood, they don't want to remarry again. But if you don't have the grace to be able to stay and you need someone, you don't want to be lonely, sweetheart, the Bible is not stopping you from remarriage. Don't let anybody preach that sermon to you. If the person has left you and they've gone to someone else, they are now living their own life, we consider them an unbeliever. Because if they were a believer, they would seek to work out their marriage with you, their covenant with you. Do you get?
Yeah.
They will seek to maintain that covenant with you, not seek to go look for love elsewhere. But since they have broken that covenant, you are no longer tied to this person. The person is no longer tied to you. And it is okay to move on. That's my say on that. I'll take a short break. Yes, I'm taking a short break. I'm giving you 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's up to a minute. Just a few seconds to share this video, to tell your friends about it, to tell them, look, something nice is happening here. And then we will be back with the second question for the night. I hope that we've been able to answer your question. If you're watching the show, the person who sent in this question, I hope we've been able to help you somehow, and that we've been able to help others. We'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back. It's the Q&A edition of Conversation with the Love Crusader tonight, and I'm still here with my co-host Titi. We are dealing with some questions we got in this month of January concerning our topic on love and new beginnings. If you're just joining us, we were dealing with a question, the first question today, about divorce and remarriage. And so we are now going to the second question for tonight. Like I said, we always pick 2 questions because we want to be able to have enough time to analyze and deal with the questions. And please, brothers, send in your questions. It's beginning to look like it's only sisters that have questions on this our platform. I'm getting more questions from the ladies than the brothers. We'd like to hear from you. If you have a question, why not ask us? And God will give us the grace and wisdom to answer the question. Yes, like I said, I hope we've been able to satisfactorily answer the first question. We are going into the second question, and this is it. It says, I seem to attract the wrong types of men. I've had so many failed relationships and heartaches. The story is long, but my conclusion is that love and marriage are not for me. So her question, number one, must everyone fall in love? And two, can I not live a full life without love and a relationship?
Wow. Wow. I think that the question is not even must everyone fall in love. The question is, do you want to fall in love? That is the question. Do you want to fall in love? Then how do you go about doing that? I'm sorry that you've had so many failed relationships. That is a tough one. She said she has so many failed relationships and heartaches. I'm so sorry about your experience, but you can get better. You can learn from your mistakes and from these heartaches and still find love again. Just like we're talking about when we're explaining, trying to give an answer to the first question. Make sure you leverage on the previous relationships and do better this time. That is just that's the main thing. Learn better. And how do you learn better, leverage on your previous relationship? Don't make the same mistakes again. Don't make the same poor choices. If the relationship ended badly, chances are that at some point you must have made some poor decisions. The chances are high most times, so leverage on that. Don't make the same mistakes, the same poor choices again. Read books about relationship. Most people just feel like they would do anything to improve on any area of their life except relationships. You just assume that, okay, as I'm growing older, I should know better. These things are not automatic. You don't start a career and just assume that, okay, because as I've begun this career now, I'll just keep rising through the ranks. No one rises through the ranks like that. People put in work. They go back to school. They do programs, engage in some form of exercise or the other so that they can rise through the ranks in their career. That's the same way relationship is. You can't begin relationship today and assume that what you knew 5 years ago will work for the relationship you are in right now. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need to read about relationships. You need to listen to people that have better understanding when it comes to relationship. Expose yourself to good knowledge when it comes to relationship and marriage, and make sure that the same mistakes, that you did in the past does not repeat itself again. That way, if you do that, I assure you, you will definitely find love again. And she says, can I not live a full life without love? You can, but the question is, do you want to? The question is, if you can attain 100, why do you want to get 90? Or it's like settling. If you can get that good relationship, experience love, that's beautiful love experience. Why do you want to settle for less? So that's the question. And if that is your desire to be in a good relationship and experience love again, then it's as if you are not having that full life. If that is, I'm not saying you can't have a full life if you're not in a relationship or if you're not in a marriage or whatever. I'm saying if that is your desire, then it is achievable. You can achieve it. And if you don't achieve it and that is your desire, then it seems like, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why you're asking this question, because you want it. You want it. So let's be clear on that so that you don't misquote me and say, if you're not married or you are not in a relationship, then you can't have a full life. If it's what you desire, is something on your mind, on your tag, on your list, then go for it, because it's attainable, it's achievable, and you can find love again. So
okay, Okay, Auntie Titi is not giving up on you, even if you seem to have given up on love.
No, don't give up on love.
Because I think in this question, the very first thing I saw, or my first impression, was that this person, was giving up on love.
Yeah.
And because of all the hurt and all the pain. And like Titi said, I'm just going to first start by saying, we're really sorry that, you've had to go through this pain, and that, you've not enjoyed what it means to truly be loved. And, to love and be loved is a beautiful thing. I always say that we're not created to be an island. I don't
we're created for relationships.
Yes, thank you. Our pastor said it today. we're created for relationships with God and men.
Yeah.
So and the Bible rightly puts it that some people have made the choices to become eunuch for the gospel's sake. And we know them. We still have some of them in today's world. The priests, the nuns in some denominations who don't marry. They live all their life serving God. Excellent choice if they choose to. They are married to Jesus, they're living for God and their relationship, but they still have relationship within themselves. Although I'm not talking about sexual, I mean, they still
develop relationships.
Because we are created that way. We can't take it away from ourselves. We can't fight it. That is the first basic truth we must tell ourselves. I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm done with people. Maybe they've hurt you so much, like this our beautiful sister that is sending this in. You've been hurt severally. You are in pain. The heart is broken. Like we were talking about when we were having the topic about starting all over again. Heartbreaks are real, but at the same time, one thing you cannot do is to give up on love. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you search for it, you'll find it.
Definitely.
If you seek it, you will find it. Just like Titi was saying earlier on, if it's a desire, you will walk towards it and you will work for it. You can live a full life without a relationship. Talking now about maybe a lover's relationship, talking about marriage and all of that. Yeah, not everyone is going to marry. Should I shock you? Hello, people. Not everyone will marry. Some people will never marry until the day they die. And it would not mean that they've not lived a full life.
Yeah.
You can still have meaningful relationships that don't lead to marriage, meaningful relationships that might not even be with the opposite sex, So having a relationship is not a total guarantee for a full life. Should I also shock you? There are people who are married and they are not still living their full life.
Of course.
So marriage is not a
It's
not a, how do you put it, a certificate to say, oh, because I am not a Mrs., I am not a Mr., or I'm not a daddy, or I'm not a mommy, I am living the best life. No. So first of all, take that out of your mind, because I think this is what also pressures some singles into making mistakes that cause heartache. When you're all the time thinking of it, marriage, all the time thinking of it, a brother just says, good morning, the next thing, you start thinking of this brother and the number of children that you people are going to have, you have problem. Because that brother is only greeting. Just admiring.
But are you saying you can't, a sister cannot dream?
But don't be obsessed. Don't be obsessed about it. I'm telling you the truth, people. It's that obsession that makes people make mistakes.
True.
It's one major reason, especially for ladies. They look at it, this person is not right. They know, right in their heart of heart, this person is not right, but age is counting. All my mates are married, and my mates all have children. some of my mates' children are now in secondary school. Hello, you don't have a mate.
Mhm.
This is what I tell my
All man
children.
for himself.
You don't have
we are
a
on
mate.
our own. We are all on our own.
Yes.
We came to this world individually.
The day I was pushed down, my mother did not push me down with another person. In fact,
Even the people that were pushed down at the same day, like
they didn't
twins,
come out at the same time.
they came out one after the other.
They are still not mates.
we're not-
No, it's the truth. Even with twins, there's a senior.
Yeah.
One person is older than the other. Children were born from the same womb on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have mates. I don't have a mate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not competing with Titi. I don't want to be like Titi.
Mm-hmm.
It will be the wrongest thing to start looking, oh, Titi's life, oh, she's this, oh, she did that, and my life is like this. It's like one of my favorite pastors would say, that's set up for misery.
Yeah.
You're just going to end up living a life of misery. So, first of all, take that mindset away from you that tells you that living a full life means that you're in a relationship. Oh, that you have a boyfriend. Oh, okay, you're not married, but I should be engaged at this age. All my friends are getting engaged. Or all my friends have now brought
Who
a boy
sets
home.
that as the criteria?
I
Anyways?
want that.
Who
And I'm saying
sets
this most to ladies because you see a lot of ladies sometimes, they have dreams, they have hopes, they have things they want to be. They when as young girls, they start out with visions and dreams of who they would like to be. But somehow, somewhere, people start telling them, you're a woman now. You should just marry and have kids. Like, that's what you are called to this earth to do. That's ad hoc. Should I shock you? That's an ad hoc responsibility to marry and have children. Yes, it is God's will, and we desire it. I desire it for everyone. Of course, that is why I play matchmaker. I'm good at it. It's one of my calling. I matchmake people. But at the same time, I don't believe in the pressures of, oh, I must get married at this time and at that time, and it must be now, and it must be this person. So take that ideology away first from your mind to say, oh, can I not live a full life without love and a relationship? You can live a full life without marriage. You can live a full life without a man. You can live a full life without a woman. The choice is yours. However, we would prefer that you are in love, that you find love, that someone loves you, and that you love someone back, because it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. I would want you to experience that. So I would want to encourage you not to give up on love, because you did not start out at the beginning to say, I want to be a nun. That's a different,
that's what I was
that's
saying,
a different ball game. Yes. If she didn't desire it, she will not even go through the heartbreaks and failed relationships. It's in plural. She didn't say relationships, so relationships, meaning she's tried severally. So it's something that you desire. It's something you want. And if you want it, you desire it, you can get it. You can have it. We just need to work with you. Find counselors, find matchmakers, find the right books, the right knowledge, about love. Find the man also in the right place. I don't know how to explain.
It's just the Lord. It's just the Lord, really.
Find a man in the right place. You can't go. Okay.
Oh, I think you just need to. I think you just need some form of counseling.
Yeah, you could be searching in the wrong place.
Yeah, you need some form of guidance.
There's still good men on earth, right, Titi?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So you just need that guidance, and you need to begin to watch yourself too, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes you made in the past.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about so many failed relationships and heartaches, so many, that means it has happened over and over again. And you need to take a step back.
Yeah, take a break.
And ask yourself, what do I keep repeating all the time? What is that thing that unifies all of these failed relationships? I can pinpoint and say, this is how I did it in this relationship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see that this is the same thing I keep doing, and this is what's happening. There's a solution out there. There is always a solution. So that's what I want you to take away from this. There's a solution out there. You just need to find that solution. And you can find that solution by counseling. You need proper counseling and guidance.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. Not from our questions, but from the answer you gave in the first question. And you were talking about the fact that some people go and carry, is it they're in a relationship with the wrong, is it the wrong bone or something like that?
Supposed to be bone of your bone, but you are with the bone of another person.
Is there really anything like that? Is there really like the one person that is meant for somebody on earth?
Well, I didn't say the one person.
No, if the person is the bone of your bone, there has to be one person that, or do you have three or four bones of your bone?
I didn't say the one person. I said that ideally or originally, let me not use that word ideal. Originally, when you find the right person, it's supposed to be the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh. When you find the right person. You know, so whoever the right person is the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh. But sometimes we end up not finding the right person, so we end up with the bone of another person's bone. That's what I mean by that.
Thank you. Because no, let's have someone.
Yeah, and
because someone else can divorce and say, "Oh, that person that divorced me was my bone." So
my soulmate. That's one of the reasons.
So I can't find any other person.
The lady might be thinking, "I thought this was meant to be together, and now see everything is broken and all of that." So the right person is your soulmate. So if that person leaves,
there's another soulmate. We're just saying that, look, God is a God of second chances, and don't let anyone paint a picture of God that is not God to you.
Sure.
God gives us second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th chances. As long as we're willing to come back to Him, as long as we are, ready, God is ever ready. He is there, constant. He is constant. He's not changing. He's not moving. He's not leaving. You can't fall so bad that God can't pick you up again. Sure. So, but we live, we fail, we err. The most important thing is that we return. So take your second chance. But in both situations, both of you that have sent in this question, take time to reevaluate yourself. Ask yourself, who am I? This is where we err.
What can I do differently?
This is where we err, people. And I know sometimes it's hard. You don't want to stare at yourself in the mirror because you might not like what you see. But it's always important that you do that analysis of yourself and say, who am I? What are my visions? What are my goals? What's my aim in life? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Because this person who's going to come into your life to share your life with you will greatly determine whether you're going to get to where you want to be or not. Remember, when this person comes into your life and begin to share your life with you, you become one.
Yeah.
If they are making progress, you make progress. They don't make progress, most times you don't. And then that becomes like, two people pulling a cart from two different ends. The cart will never go forward, So first of all, I would just encourage a general note to the both of you that you take a break and do an analysis of yourself. Before you go into another relationship, who am I? What do I like? What's my taste? Don't let it just be about, oh, okay, I've been lonely for so long. I need someone in my life. So you just take, like they say, when you're too thirsty, you nest water. You get too thirsty, you drink dirty water. Don't let it be that case. And don't let it be, oh, okay, this type of men have been breaking my heart. Maybe I should try another type of men. Your heart might still get broken. First, do an analysis, an analogy of yourself. Who am I? What do I like? What do I love? What do I desire? Where do I want to go? Who can go with me on this journey? There's something I used to say, and that is that life, the journey of life on its own, is hard enough. You don't need to go and make a wrong choice that will complicate it. Because the moment you pick that wrong choice, that wrong person, you complicate your life. Your life gets more complicated and life becomes harder. I'm telling you the truth. It doesn't matter how much of a speaking. That is why you hear bishops, they divorce. It's not about spirituality. It is not about how holy you are. This is about making the right choice for you. What suits Titi will not suit me. And this is the reason why Titi can marry at 20 and I marry at 40. even if we were born the same year. As long as it is ready at that point and she's found her right one, good for her. I'll go celebrate her and wait for my own. Don't let anyone pressure you into a life that God has not pressured you into. Don't let anyone make life difficult for you. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be pampered. How do they call it now? Soft life. And it's our desire and our wish on this platform that everyone will find someone, you know. So, like we've said to this lady who is giving up on love, seek counsel. We always say it on this platform, seek counselor. Seek counsel. There are counselors out there, people that can counsel you, that can help you go through the process. There are matchmakers out there. And some people don't like to hear this. There are also Christian dating platforms. Don't just conclude on yourself and give up on yourself and say, oh, it's over for me. I don't believe in love anymore. Love can still, there are still good men.
True.
I have a daughter.
True.
I have a daughter. And I refuse to believe that there are no good men out there. Who's going to marry my daughter? A good man is coming.
Oh, yeah.
A good man is coming. You know what I mean? There are good men out there. There are still good men out there. Another thing you need to do is to check for them in the right places. And ensure that you are also the right person.
Right person.
While you're waiting, build yourself. Abi?
True.
You know, build yourself. Become that woman that a man cannot break their heart. You know, there are some women that a man cannot afford to mess with. When they come there, they say, no, this one is not the type that you toy with. They say this is not the kind of woman you play with. So be that kind of person. All right, I hope that we've been able to answer your questions. For those who sent in these 2 questions for this month, I hope that we have been able to answer your questions, and that yes, the Holy Spirit will expand our answers in your heart. If you have further questions, please still go ahead, send your questions on Men Fences on Facebook. The WhatsApp number is there. You can send us a message, and we'll take your questions by the grace of God. If you want one-on-one counseling, you can also still reach us via that same WhatsApp number. And God will give us the wisdom to be able to counsel and help you with your relationship and your love life as much as we can by the grace of God. And yeah, next week is the first Sunday of February. And guess what's happening? It's the hot seat. It's the hot seat. We're going to have a couple here, and then we'll be free to throw questions at them. And let's see how well they will do while they are sitting on the hot seat. Remember to share this platform. Remember to share the links. Tell your friends about this platform. There's a lot to learn here. We learn in a fun way. So that's why you see us. We are laughing. We laugh. We smile. We learn in a fun way. And we share knowledge that can help your love life, your relationships, and life in general. Yeah. So until we come your way again next week, and next month, the month of love, we'll be talking about self-love. Self-love. In case you've never understood that, you've heard it. Maybe they've said it before. And some people don't know that self-love is good love. They only believe in loving others. They don't know how to love themselves. All right, we'll talk about that
Break it down
in the month of February. And yeah, next week is Hot Seat. Join us. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at Men Fences TV on YouTube and at Men Fences on Facebook. We'll see you again next week. Until then, have a love-filled week. Thank you as always for your time, Titi. Thank you for being here and being a blessing. God bless you. All right, everyone. We will see you hopefully again next week. God's grace on Sunday evening. Bye.